Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod, and this is Star Wars 7x7. So let's talk Episode 9 pre-production, and it is just that, pre-production. We are not in the official production stage yet, which would be signified by an announcement that principal photography has begun on Star Wars Episode 9. Nope, hasn't happened yet. It should be coming soon. It's supposed to start in July of 2018, at least that's the last estimate that we had about this whole production getting underway. But so far, no announcement yet. We still got another 3 weeks or so left in July, so there's ample time for them to get this train rolling. In the meantime, like I said, pre-production, so they've still got a lot of work to do. Supposedly the script is finished, and they should be working on casting things. And in fact, the latest rumor that we have is a casting rumor. And again, as I said at the top, there will be no spoilers, so don't worry. We're just talking about people. We're not talking about roles or anything like that. And the current rumor kicking around is that Keri Russell is in talks to join the Episode 9 cast. Now, the initial reaction on this is kind of like, well, gee, I'm surprised it took that long for J.J. Abrams to get Keri Russell into one of these movies, that it didn't happen in Episode 7 in The Force Awakens. It's kind of a surprise in a way, because Keri Russell is maybe not a mainstay at the level that, say, Greg Grunberg is in terms of various J.J. Abrams productions, but she certainly has appeared in one or two, namely the Felicity TV series, and she was also a player in the J.J. Abrams directed Mission Impossible 3. As for what kind of role she's playing, it's only been discussed that it's an action-heavy role, and that's as much as we know for sure, or at least as much as been, I shouldn't say for sure, as much as been reported by sources to Variety. But here's the thing. Of course, there's a bandwagon forming, surprise, surprise, that this could be a depiction of Rey's mother. And why would you ever arrive at that conclusion? Well, gee, you have Keri Russell, who is a female brunette, and you have Daisy Ridley, who is a female brunette. And maybe there's enough of an age difference where you can make that assumption work, okay? Well, barring the whole idea that, women can change their hair color anytime they darn well want to. So can men, for that matter. But anyway, it's just, the sort of obvious on the surface similarities in their appearance that are getting people to wonder, oh my gosh, are they actually going to have Rey's mother appear in Episode 9? And I'd love to hear what you think about this idea, so drop me a comment wherever you're checking out this podcast. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the notion of bringing back Rey's mother for this movie. I don't know that there's really a point to do it, That's just me. And I think the only reason would be if you're letting J.J. Abrams retroactively undo what Rian Johnson did in The Last Jedi as far as the reveal about who Rey's parents are, or at least, how Kylo Ren pitches it to Rey. Because the thing about Rey's whole parentage and her Jedi Force powers nature is that it goes back to the original idea that Lucas had about the Jedi, that it was a very democratic idea. This whole Skywalker saga, this lineage of following, these incredible Force users who also happen to be members of this one particular family. Well, that's just how things kind of went wrong and leading into the original trilogy and how the prequel trilogy ended. But the way things were when things were good was that the Jedi were this very democratic organization where, members of tons of different species had Force capabilities, and all of them were trained. It wasn't like, no, we're only going to train people from certain bloodlines or anything like that. So the notion of Rey not being a Skywalker, not being a Kenobi, not being whatever, particular lineage that you might want to bring up, that really harkens back to the ideas of how this whole Jedi Order began that Lucas brought to us in the prequel trilogy. And so, I hope if Keri Russell shows up that we're not getting a, Keri Russell as Rey's mom who has Force abilities, number one. And I don't know that we need Keri Russell showing up as Rey's mom to give her any kind of closure, because I'm hoping that what we got, and I feel like what we got in The Last Jedi is closure on that front as well. And anyway, if Variety is right and Keri Russell's character, or at least the one that she's allegedly in talks for playing, is a more action-oriented character, well, the Junk Traders aren't necessarily very action-oriented. I mean, I think Rey is certainly an exception in that regard, but who knows? I mean, it's entirely possible, I guess, but I think that that little tidbit suggests that Keri Russell is in talks to play another character entirely. Who that could be? Well, you'll have to go searching internet rumors if you really want to go down that spoiler track. That's all up to you. Aside from that, no other news to really report about episode 9. Just hang in there. We're going to keep an eye on the whole situation and let you know when production begins, let you know when there's other breaking news about it right here on Star Wars 7x7, and give you instant feedback and analysis for it as well. And that will do it for today's show then as well. And over on the audio version at sw7x7.com/iTunes/Overcast/Spotify/TuneIn/iHeartRadio/ wherever you like to listen to podcasts. I'll be doing Last Jedi trivia, so check that out. But for now, it just remains for me to say thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.